what color did you end up going with?
Red.
Let's go. Perfect. I just saw your text. I'm sorry. I've been running around all day today.
What? I understand. I'm a realtor, so I know.
I know, yeah. Help me understand what's kind of going on. You said that he's wanting to get it done today. What?
Yeah, he had sent me a message while I was sitting in there, and I couldn't touch the phone because I was getting my nails done. Just a second. Let me start my vehicle, and I'll put you on the intercom so I can check that. Okay, are you there?
Yes.
Alright, let me look and see what he said. He said, just summarize, I accept and then everything is handled. I just sign off and get $4,000 check. Is that what you told him or in the video?
I didn't say a specific number to him, but
Okay.
yeah, so I don't know where he's getting that number from, but I mean, I'd be happy to talk about if that's what he needs to, to be able to move on, then we can talk about that, absolutely.
That's probably, I think he probably got that from me because I told him, I said the numbers were basically just the same as the person that we dealt with before that was not real.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I think that's probably where he got it from because I think that's what their offer was.
Okay.
So you all can just, work that out among yourselves. And I don't know, obviously something's happened overnight. I don't know because he's just been on me all day. Wanting this house to be done. I don't know. It's probably a personal thing between him and her.
I hear you. Well, hopefully everything's okay. Let me do this. I'm driving to Selmer, Tennessee, if you know where that is. It's about 2 hours away from me. So I don't have my laptop with me to write up the paperwork, but when I get home tonight, I can try to send over an agreement. And I mean, are you comfortable with me having a conversation with him, or would you like to do a three-way call? Okay.
I'd rather you have the conversation with him and you all discuss, whatever you want to do, and then when we get it on paper, then me and him will look over it together.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. And I'll loop you back in on how that conversation went and all that good stuff. Would you mind sending me his contact number or something like that, or maybe I can just write it down?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give him a call. That'd probably be easier.
I think he doesn't get off work till 3 my time.
Okay.
Eastern time, but I'll confirm that with him. Because his days are just different times, different days.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll do that. And is there any way we can let my title company handle the closing?
Yeah, so we would just need to make sure that the title company's, creative friendly. That would be the only concern. I think me and you had talked about that on our initial conversation. So, and they might be. So.
Teresa's really good.
Okay.
I'll let you touch base with her too. She won't care a bit, to just talk to you.
Yeah,
she's
absolutely.
Really easy. She's real easygoing. She's younger than I am, but we went to the same school, so we're like, I've known her for 30 years, so it's like
That's wonderful.
Just a good relationship that we have, and that's why I like to always include her on everything.
Well, that's great. I mean, as long as she's up to date with, how to do these transactions properly, then I have no problem going with with her. So.
What do you call the transaction, and I can go ahead and touch base with her?
Yeah, so the transaction is called a subject to transaction.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you're just buying the house subject to the existing mortgage already in place. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm happy to have that conversation with her if she has any, concerns or questions or anything like that. So.
Yes, I'll send you both contact numbers. I'll send you his first, and then I'll send you Teresa's.
Great.
And then that way, after you talk to him and get things squared away with him, then you can call Teresa once you think it's going to be a go.
Yeah. Okay. And can you, just so I understand kind of what your client would be needing from me, I mean, is there anything else that I should know about as far as like how I can best serve him?
No, I think you'll be able to. He's okay. Just he doesn't need anything extra.
So since I'm not, I can just tell you how I've done this with other agents. I mean, every other agent I've worked with. Since I'm coming in just unrepresented, usually if your brokerage will allow this, I just pay you kind of the 3% that you would get on your side of things. I want to make sure you get paid, so I hope you hear that. I'm not trying to cut you out or anything. You're worth every penny, but I wouldn't be able to do the 6%, but I would be able to afford to pay you 3%. Would something like that work?
Okay. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Okay, and can you tell me what that number is, just so I have that? So it's 3%. I can't remember the purchase price. Let me.
What are you actually? Are you doing the 360? What are you doing? What's the cost? 365.
Let me. I'm sorry. I was just driving. Let me look this up.
I've got 5 listings right now. Let me go back in and look at this real quick.
No, it's okay. Cool. Let me. I see right here. 117.
Listed for.
It looks like it's listed for 364,900. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
364,999. I think is what we done.
360.
And what that was is we messed up on something, so I had to take it down $1.
Gotcha.
I don't know what it was, but we had to take it down. I didn't really make it seem like it was a car sale, trying to do 9999.
Right.
But it was a mistake that I made on something, and I had to take it that way. And I don't know what happened. I can't remember now, but yeah,
That's okay.
the price.
Okay, cool. So your commission is around 11,000.
Yeah, I was
On the
going to figure it out for you to be exact.
I think it's the 10,949. Okay, got it. I'll see if I can make all of that work. I'll have a conversation with him. I'll probably just need to get like a recent mortgage statement from him or something like that to be able to see what the numbers are on the mortgage payment, and then I'll be able to kind of give him some final numbers from there. So.
Yeah, I think his payoff was like 324, if I'm not badly mistaken, or something.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Something like that. But,
Hey, do you have like a CMA or something like that, like a CMA report you could send me? Kind of. I mean, do you feel like that the 364? I mean, do you feel like it would move, traditionally around this price, or what? What's kind of been the major issue?
I'm thinking that everything's getting ready to go up in that area because of the interest rates and everything.
Yeah.
Everything, I think it's a fair number. But I can get you a CMA if you need it.
I would love that. That would be awesome if you don't mind just sending that to me. I'm gonna give him a call right now as soon as you text me his number, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'll send everything to you.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly.
All right, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye. Cool. Looks like we got one, brothers.
I'm no genius, but when interest goes up, doesn't price go down?
I think she was saying with the interest rates getting better. I think that's what she was trying to say, but I think she just said it incorrectly.
Okay.
Because I think interest rates just recently dropped, so I think like that's what she was trying to say. But she was like, with the interest rates going up, I'm like,
Yeah, 'cause
I
I
don't
was
know. That's why I was just like, yeah, for sure.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations. That was a great call.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Great call.
That was easy. No, she's been chill. What's funny is when I started like talking to her, she was very like, no, and then like I kept following up with her, and like it took like 4 days to get in touch with her, because like she was like, yeah, I'm just busy running around, and I kind of was like, like maybe it's just not worth it. So I kind of just pushed her away, and I was just like, hey, like no worries, like I'm probably not your buyer on this one. And then she like called me like the next day, and that was like how we started the conversation. So
Yeah. Perfect.
I'll call this other agent real quick if you don't mind. Gregory. Oh shit.
My phone kept ringing. I was over here like, stop calling. Stop calling.
Hello.
Hey, Evan, I'm sorry, honey. I didn't mean to get your part there.
Hey,
but
it's okay.
I think only thing that he was wanting was the payoff and me paid, and then the $4,000. I don't think he was wanting the 365.
Oh right, yeah. So what we would do is we would buy the house. We would do the agreement to buy the house for whatever he owes. So I think if you said like 321 plus cover your commissions, the closing costs, and then get him the cash that we can afford to get him. So yeah.
Right.
So you have that correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't want to make it seem like that. He was wanting the 365.
Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, I was hoping to actually pay him $400,000 for the house, but I guess this will have to work.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You have a good day.
All right, you
I'll talk
too.
to you soon.
All right, thanks. That's funny. It's so awkward when those jokes don't go well. When people are like, huh?
I don't understand.
They're too risky. Those are risky sometimes, dude. People are like, why are you messing around? I'm like, okay, you don't like having fun in life? I do.
I just wanted to throw that joke out there, make you laugh a little.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, we're not making each other laugh. And she's calling me honey. Like, if the realtor's calling you honey, you got the deal done. I mean, come on. Or she doesn't respect you. Either one, I'm not sure. Or she thinks I'm a child. This one's interesting too. He said that his client's ready, but I don't know. It's like a more the more expensive stuff kind of scares me because I'm like, he's like $500,000 like in Kentucky. I'm like, who's buying this shit? I don't know, but I guess some people will. Not me. Airbnb, I guess.
Yeah, it would have to be in a good area in Kentucky. Like a
Okay,
area.
cool. This is the hard part, fellas.
Hello.
Hey, Brittany, it's Evan.
Hey.
Hey, how are you doing? Good. Well, I wanted to let you know I'm actually in the car with my financial partner, Johnny, and I don't think that this house is going to be a good fit, just based off like the current income. I think it's going to be a little too much of a stretch, if I'm honest, and
Okay.
I'm really sorry. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna send out, and if you can, like, send me out your criteria of like houses that you would like.
Okay.
Certain, like, you know, like bedroom, square footage, all that kind of stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this out to some other investors I know, just throughout Tennessee, but, you know, some in that area as well that are doing owner finance. And I think there's going to be some houses that'll come up for y'all that will maybe be a little bit more affordable.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Send me all of that whenever you get a chance, and I will do my best to you know, find y'all a place. It may not be before Christmas, so I'm sorry. But and did you find that Facebook page okay?
I did.
Okay, gotcha. I just want you to know, like, that is an option, right? And you can look on Facebook groups and look up seller finance, owner finance, like, look up all of that. Go online, look up owner finance, and like, there's gonna be people that, like, you know, sadly, like, you know, we have to be a little more strict about like the 3 times income, you know. But there's some people that are not very strict on that, you know, and they're willing to kind of, you know, and I would be careful with some of those people, you know, like if they're taking a huge down payment and, you know, the monthly payments really is going to be hard to make, especially with 3 kids. Like, I would just be careful because those are the people that are quick to foreclose on people. So just be careful with that and make sure that, you know, y'all are doing something that, you know, you can afford. But I'm going to do my best to look out for y'all and find something for y'all. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
That was easy.
Okay, yeah, but she was like, if you'd been there yesterday, bro.
She started crying.
Yeah, dude. Like, I would have thought you were gonna freak out. Well, my thing is, like, I don't want them to go. The property's unlocked, so I don't want them to go to the property and freaking be pissed and like vandalize the shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I'm trying to like.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like trying to be very like. Hey, is this Travis?
It is.
Hey, Travis. This is Evan. I just spoke with your agent, Kelly. She told me to kind of give you a call and reach out to you. I was the one that was interested in buying your property.
I'm at work right now.
Cool, brother. If you don't mind, let's.
Be out in about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half, you said? Okay, cool. I'm on like a 2-hour drive to go look at another property. So if you want to give me a call in an hour and a half, I should be available for you. If you don't mind, in the meantime, if you have some time and you have like an online portal, shoot me a text, like a screenshot of like your recent mortgage statement so I can see some of the numbers on it. And then I can kind of give you some final numbers on our conversation.
Sounds good. Is this like one of those no negotiation things, or
Help me understand what you mean by that, just so I understand.
it's just like your offer is what it is, take it or leave it?
Oh no, dude. I really try to work with people, man. I want to hear kind of more about what you need out of it, and that's why I'd like to see those numbers up front, just to see what I could even do. So yeah, I'm happy to work with you, brother.
Awesome. In that case, I'll talk to you more when I get out here and it's a little bit quieter for me.
Awesome, dude. That sounds like a plan.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right, thanks,
All right, see you, man. Cool.
I guess some people gave him like a no negotiation.
I guess so. Well, and that's why I was like, hey, like, help me understand what you mean by that.
Yeah.
Because, like, that could mean so many different things.
Yeah,
Like, who knows what that means, like, when he asked me that. Like, instead of me trying to be like, it's like, well, put it back on him. What do you mean by that?
yeah.
Like, make him be the asshole. I'm not the asshole.
I remember, man, what was his name that we met? The really good sales guy. Apollo. See, I was trying to say like Polo or something.
Yeah.
Apollo. I remember he taught me that.
Yeah.
Like to flip it back on the person to ask them kind of what they mean or
Right.
you know what they want or
Dude,
just put the ball back in their court. So
he taught me that, bro. And honestly, just taking that course, too, that he's with, that
yeah,
helped me so much.
yeah,
Just to be able to ask those, like, simple questions and, like, also be, like, super curious and, like, change your tone and not be like, what do you mean by that?
yeah.
It's like, well, what do you mean by that? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, there's a difference. Like,
Apollo's a smart guy.
he is, bro.
Have you drug him over to real estate yet or what?
Dude, yeah, he got his, like, first wholesale deal. He's like with a partner right now. I wish he would just do it on his own. I think he'd be a lot better. But I guess splitting things with people ain't, be an issue if you are good with that. Holy shit, we're going really fast. Slow down. This car goes way too fast. We're going like 95. I didn't even know.
That's good. It's a nice quiet ride.
Dude, for sure. I guess it's smooth ride. This is Evan.
Hey, Evan, Greg Wilson, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, I just want to let you know, I talked to my seller, and he said he just doesn't have time to do a Zoom call. He's busy. He works 2 jobs, and he said the earliest he's going to even be available to do one would be Saturday. And he said he really doesn't want to do it on Saturday. And he said, if you want to make an offer, if you're willing to look, happy to look at it or whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Does he understand kind of like the process and what that would look like? Or because I like to hop on the Zoom call not just for, and it doesn't have to be a Zoom call, it could be a phone call as well. But I mean, I like to be able to answer any questions that sellers have instead of me just kind of throwing out blind offers. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I mean, because we close on, we get usually 5 under contract every single month. So I mean, it's not a big deal if this isn't the house, for me. But ideally, I'd like to have the conversation and see what he's looking to get out of it. I don't like having my team just send out random offers. I mean, because of course, the offer that I send out, if he's not asking, if he's not telling me what he needs, it's just going to be an offer that he doesn't want. Of course, I'm just going to ask to take over his payments, cover your commission, and then no cash in his pocket. So that would be my initial offer. So I'm assuming he won't want that.
No,
Right.
he's not. He's going to want us to get as much out of it as he can, just like anybody else.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know, and I don't know if you can or can't do it. And I don't know if he's going to be flexible on it. But he asked me to do the numbers on what if he was able to sell a house at the asking price.
Yeah.
What it would cost him to have to pay commissions and closing costs and all that stuff. And, I gave it to him, and it essentially come out to where he would have about $20,000 after he paid off the loan. So obviously, that's going to be where he's going to want to be. But I don't know how much you can go towards that or what. But
Okay.
that's where he would like to be. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's big offers all the time, and people they think about it and they wind up accepting something less than what they would have wanted or whatnot.
Sure.
I just know from experience. I've had people take as much as $25,000 less than asking price, but they've also been on the market longer than this one has.
Right.
They might give in. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you being upfront with me about that. If he does decide he wants to, have a conversation about what he needs, I'd be happy to do that. If not, no worries. I may not be the buyer on this one. So, and what I can do maybe a little bit later is maybe just send you something in writing. It'll probably be a little bit later tonight before I do that. I can send you something in writing just of what I might be able to do, and then, if he wants to have a further conversation, maybe we just kind of go from there. How's that sound?
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Awesome. I appreciate you, Greg. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Hell no.
Don't y'all think he should get a YouTube channel and show y'all how to talk to agents? Because listen to that. Listen to those sweet words coming out of his mouth, man.
I don't know about sweet. I wouldn't be in sweet with him, man. I'm just kind of like...
Sweet words flowing out of his mouth.
Thanks, dude.
So, yeah, what are you doing? What's your strategy?
For like what specifically? Just in general?
Yeah, to find some leads.
Yeah, just pulling a low equity list on PropStream, calling on market, just calling those agents, and usually just trying to contact at least, I would say like 15 agents a day. Like if you can do 10 to 15 agents a day, usually you'll get about 50% of them if you're skilled enough at the conversation.
Yeah.
That will want more information, and then from there just sending them an email with a video of my face, like a testimonial explaining the process, and then from there just I never throw out blind offers. So I just tell them, hey, like watch this video. If your client's interested in this and wants to work with me, then let's have the conversation. I think that's better because other people are sending them emails with like numbers and shit, and like it's just not personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's just not. Whereas if I'm like less needy and I'm kind of like, hey, like no worries if you don't want to work with me. If you don't want to work with someone else, that's fine. But like here I am, like I'm happy to have the conversation with you and not just throw out a random number to you.
Yeah.
I would rather work with that person. So, and if the person like is like send me a number, it's like okay, I didn't want to work with you anyways. You're not the kind of person that's like gonna probably be very negotiable, anyways. So.
Absolutely.
Maybe, but probably not. You're good, brother. I'm just driving through the wilderness. It feels like right now. I don't even know where we are.
Wilderness is awesome to drive through.
I'm out in the country, bro. I wish I had a motorcycle. I could just like go through these roads, like just free flowing.
Maybe a Supra.
Dude, or a Subaru. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's what I have.
Oh, nice, dude. My car's in the shop, so I don't have. I'm carless right now. Freaking.
Did you get a chance to read my text?
Yeah, I literally just got done reading some of it, and I just wanted to be able to kind of call you and just tell you I'm sorry, man. That stinks. I know I don't know all the details, but I can't imagine what you're going through right now. So I just want to be able to kind of have this conversation and hear kind of what you need and just see if we can work something out here. So I mean, how can I help you right now?
So the realtor, and I don't know all of the final numbers, and of course, with the way your company works, I guess you'll line those things out later.
Sure.
But she's telling me that with the basics of looking at everything, we're going to have about $4,000 in our pocket.
Yeah.
I'd like to have just like a little bit more than that, just especially with the things that we've done with the house. Mainly the HVAC stuff is all brand new. I don't know how the warranty works and all that, but I'm sure if anything happens, we can call them and be like, hey, this is messed up, whatever. But HVAC stuff doesn't really do that unless you abuse it, I guess. But
Right. And you said there was a loan on that with the HVAC?
yeah, so that's not tied to the house. It's not going to affect the lien or the title, and that's in our personal name, so there's nothing against it. It'll just, I guess, be bad for our credit. Yeah, so there's nothing. It was basically a personal loan, so it's not tied to the house. I just wanted you to know that we had paid for that stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense, dude. And I want to get you as much as I can. I think the issue would be for me would be just looking at it from, I'd be looking at this from a rental perspective most likely. Sometimes what we'll do is we'll buy houses and we'll actually sell them on owner financing to people who can't get bank financing. So that might be a play as well. But I mean, the payment. What was your total payment again on this?
It's kind of high, but there's, I think as far as the mortgage payment is only like $1,800, but after the escrow and the taxes and stuff, it's like $25.
Right. And what do you think this place would rent for? Just being in that area.
In this area, so there's, with a house in this area of this size, you could probably get $2,400 a month out of it, I guess. There's an apartment nearby that we actually used to live in. It was a 2-car garage, and it was like almost $2,100 itself.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I mean, that would be, I'm paying the commissions, the closing costs. I'm paying Kelly. I believe it's like almost $10,000 or $11,000. That I was planning on. And what's funny is I never even threw out a number, so I don't know where she got the $4,000 from. So that didn't come from me. But I'm paying the closing costs, and I think I could probably be around that $4,000. I don't know if I could be at much more if I'm honest, man. Just because if the rent's $2,400 and then my payment's $25, it's like with vacancy and repairs, I'm probably losing $400 a month on something like that. So it wouldn't make much sense for me, man, to be honest. But I also want you to know, like, I hear what you're saying too. Like, you put a lot of money into it, and so I want to make sure you're at least taken care of. So what's kind of your goal from here? Or like, what's your timeline on selling this thing? Like, what can I do?
The timeline is really, it's honestly really open for us, because the plan will probably be to just, my mom lives with us she lives with us right now, and we kind of take care of her, but she's about to get a place with a friend.
Okay.
And so we can use her bedroom to split up and still be here, because every month that we make a payment just gives us more money when we get the right buyer.
Gotcha.
And I don't know how many people Kelly has shown to. We haven't got any offers for what we listed for, but obviously Thanksgiving and Christmas is probably the worst time to try to sell a house.
Right.
I guess
45 or 30 day
the main
closing.
thing that I'm trying to get out of it is enough to where after everything is said and done, whatever I've got in my pocket, obviously I've got to split it in half. If I don't, then the court's gonna thank us when we split up. Everybody gets half, right? So
Right.
I want to have enough to get myself into maybe an apartment or whatever else. And she actually hasn't sent me any numbers from you. There was another company that sent us something similar.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of guessing around that, so we don't really know what the final stuff is going to be.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of companies out here, dude, that will just shoot out emails of random numbers, and then they'll get under contract with no intention of ever even buying the place. They're just trying to shop it around. So, I like to actually have the conversation and see, like, hey, one, this is more of a personal transaction, right? So making sure that you feel comfortable with everything, also, and that you can know who I am, right? How old are you again, by the way? Or I think we're on the same age.
32.
32. Okay, yeah, I'm not too far off. I'm upper 20s. But yeah, dude. So I like to be able to have that, and I think if we could do the 4,000 plus closing costs plus agent commissions, I think I could make that work. So, would there be any other questions that you have for me about as far as like the process or how you're protected, or like any other questions like that?
So I don't know. I didn't get to watch the videos. It might be in my email by now, because I pretty much just sat down at the house and kicked my shoes off.
Okay.
But
yeah.
As far as how the process works and stuff,
here's what I can do. I can actually send this to you, just via text, and you can watch it later if you want. This is like what I had sent to Kelly. Let's see. I'll send that to you, but I think it's better just if I explain it over the phone. So there's two ways that our company buys houses, and this is kind of what I talked about in the video. The first way is with all cash, right? So, someone calls me on my website and they have a good bit of equity, or, maybe I'm buying a foreclosure. That's what we do, and it's just a little bit simpler that way. But the second way we buy houses is that we set up to take over payments. And so the way that works is we're going to do the agreement to buy the house for whatever you owe. So that would be, I guess in this case, the $315, plus cover the agent commissions, the closing cost, and then get you the $4,000 at closing as well in your pocket, right? So you're not covering any fees, anything like that. From there,
And then the grant was included in that as well.
the grant, you said, can you explain that to me real quick?
Yeah. So it was like a down payment assistance thing, and that is tied to the house. That's where I sent you 2 pictures. That's where she got the total loan of the house being
Down
like
payment assistance has to
$322.
be paid off.
Gotcha. And what was that number again? Do you remember? I can look at because I think that needs to be paid off before.
Yeah, they'll both need to be paid off.
Right.
Or let's see. So the house is $315,294, and then the grant $6,600, almost even.
Gotcha. So that'll be needed paid as well. Okay. So let me see real quick. Okay. What I can do is I can run some numbers. So my partner, his name's Johnny Stewart. He's kind of the financial guy, and I can send him some of the numbers and see what he thinks. But I think we can be pretty close to those numbers. I'm trying to think of anything else I would need to explain to you. In our paperwork, we also have something up called a mirror wrap, which in simple terms, all that means is that you have a lien on the property. So instead of you, let's just say, for example, I get hit by a bus and, can't make the payment or something like that, right? Like, it'd be a bad business model for me.
You're kind of breaking up a little bit. Getting real
Sorry,
body.
man. Can you hear me now?
Pretty
Sorry.
well. I think it might just be the service.
Okay. If I need to call you back, let me know.
It cleared up a little bit there, but actually it was very clear there.
Okay, cool. So we're good?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So
So,
repeat what you
yeah.
said just a second ago.
So, in our paperwork, I hire a company called Creative TC. They do about 500 of these a year. So I trust them with everything I have. And in our paperwork, we have it set up to where we have something called a mirror wrap in place, which all that means is you have an actual lien on the property. So in the case that, I got hit by a bus and, couldn't make payments or something like that, right, you would get the property back and we would deed it back over to you. So I just want you to know, like, that's kind of how you're protected in this whole thing, because there's a lot of wholesalers that, or investors that they'll come in and what they'll do is they won't actually have that in place, which means if that were to ever happen a few years down the line, you would have to personally take them to court and sue them and do all this kind of stuff, whereas with our process, it's really simple. You would just get the deed back. So I just think it's important for you to understand, like, what are your risks in this, right? The risk is, like, I get hit by a bus and don't make payments. What is the benefit? Like, the things I just explained to you, just taking care of all this. But again, like, it doesn't make sense for me to spend $20,000 plus to, miss a $2,000 a month payment. But just letting you know.
Right. But then if that were to happen, we would also, then again, be responsible for
Right.
the payments.
Right, so you'd be responsible for the payment. So, like, let's say it's 3 years from now, if that did happen, and I've never missed a payment, and I don't expect to, but I do like to lay it out here just so you can actually understand. That's just how I like to do business. But, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, you sell it, and, it's probably gone up $50,000, and I lose it on that appreciation. But, yeah, that could happen. It's important to understand, like, the possibilities for sure.
Okay, so the loan stays in our name.
Right.
You just kind of make payments until it's paid off.
Right, and generally I would say, and we don't have like I don't have like a current timeline of when interest rates are going to come back down, but when rates come back down, usually we'll refinance, so that'll be probably like in a 3 to 5 year period. I don't like to make promises, but that's generally what we see with the sellers that we work with on deals like this. It's just easier that way. We also have everything serviced through a third-party servicing company called 1 Point Lending. That's who I personally use. So what they'll do is they'll take the money out of my bank account every single month and then just pay the mortgage directly. So, like, you don't have to touch it or anything like that. It's super automatic, and then we'll both get email notifications every month that that's being paid on time. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Okay.
That's good for you too, because, like, when you want to go buy a house in a couple years, or if you ever, I don't know what your plans are, but that's kind of why I asked you what you were planning to do from here, because if you're looking to buy a house next week, like I would say, we need to like change some things around and adjust for that. But if you're looking to buy a house in a year or two, all of that will be documented with a third-party processing company. So we can just take that to one of our lenders that knows how to underwrite these deals, and they'll wipe off most of it off your DTI. So does that make sense?
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that kind of changes things. I was under the impression that once we settle everything, it becomes your complete responsibility, basically.
Yeah. So in our paperwork, it states that it's our responsibility, but there's a difference between responsibility and accountability to the lender, right? Because technically, like, that lender went through the process of qualifying you to get the loan, right? And so ultimately, like, you still have that relationship with the lender saying, like, hey, like, at the end of the day, I still owe you this money, right? But it's also in our paperwork that, you get the property back if, we fail to, make a payment or something like that. So I know that's not ideal, but I just want to kind of shoot you straight on, like, that's what could happen. It's never happened before, but yeah. It's important to understand the whole picture before you do anything like that. You know what I mean?
Well, with it working this way, there's also another plus side that it'll continue to affect my credit as showing house payments being made.
Right. Most of the sellers that I work with, they are happy that they did this, just because, one, like you said, there's it's performing on your credit, and most people's credit tends to go up when we do this kind of thing. But I think it's important to understand the whole picture, and if you have other questions, feel free to shoot me a text or give me a call, and I can send some of the numbers to my financial partner and see kind of what he thinks as well, of where we could be at. But I really think we could be around those numbers if it's helpful to you. But I tell every seller I work with, I'm like, hey man, like, we buy several houses a month, so like, it's not a big deal if this isn't the house. But anything kind of creative like this, I think it's important to understand, like, hey, what's the favor that I can do for you, if anything? Because like, creative finance is already kind of weird as it is, and it's not traditional. So like, I need to be doing you, a big enough favor for it to make sense for you as well. So.
Right. And I will say that throughout 2,400, it's kind of a low number, especially since there are apartments pretty close. But I think that I can say that you can guarantee that. But as far as like, if you are thinking that you can get 2,400 and then we do this deal and then you keep having to lower it, or no one rents it at that much,
right,
and you end up only getting like 1,900, then what's going to protect us from you just being like, well, you know what, I don't want this, and so I'm not going to pay it. It'll just go back to me, and then we all kind of go back our separate ways.
That's a great question. For me, it would be the financial investment of investing probably like $25,000 into it. It would be very dumb of me to just throw away 25 for that reason. And also, like, I have funds I have several rental properties I can pull from as well that cash flow. So it's not like I've never bought a property before that kind of is minimal negative cash flow. As long as I'm taking educated risk on it, I have reserves, over 6 figures to be able to take care of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's definitely not my first rodeo. But that's a good question. You're right. That is something that could happen, but that's not my intention. So.
And then so what makes this better than you just, instead of taking over the loan, buying outright and doing it, however, a different way? Because our actual, like, as far as the principal goes, we only pay like $1,800 a month for the house. It's the escrow and the insurance and the we actually also have mortgage insurance, which is another $200 a month on the payment. That's only to guarantee that the loan company doesn't lose their money if they have to sell the house.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question, man. I appreciate all the good questions. So I would say, number one, like, let's just say the house is worth, the 365 or whatever, 370, right? So at 365, most investors that I know, including myself, are going to want to pay 70 to 75% of what it's actually worth if you're going to buy it in cash and just pay it outright. So like that number that I would have to be at would be like 255 to 260, which doesn't make any sense for you. So like there's no way I can do the deal that way. Plus, like let's just say I bought it with a traditional mortgage. Like right now I'm getting a 7.5, 8% interest rate. You know, my P&I is gonna be probably what, a few $100 more, something like that. So it just wouldn't make sense for me to do it that way. But like I totally understand if it's something that, you know, you don't feel comfortable with. So, and I'm happy to even send you like, you know, sellers that I've worked with or agents or whatever. But I mean, we've done this several times and it's not, it's never been a concern that, you know, anything's come up or anything like that. But, you know, I think it's important to be able to educate and also like build a relationship because, you know, you kind of, I would say most of the sellers that I work with, it's funny, you'll get people that call you and you're like, it's, you know, it's 5-10 years down the line and the property's gone up in, you know, value $100,000. They're like, hey, can you please miss a payment so we can get the house back and sell it? So that's probably the only time that I've ever had someone really, you know, kind of want to be done with it is because, you know, they want to make some money on it. So, you know, and have you thought about doing that? Maybe keeping this as like a rental property or something like that?
I'm considering it.
Yeah.
I'm filling out all the options. If we were to get, so Kelly did an open house, and it was right before Thanksgiving, so it wasn't really a good weekend to do it. But if we could get
That's interesting,
the
though.
365 that we're asking, where someone takes, you know, full responsibility and takes the 365, the idea was going to be that was going to give us enough money to have
Especially since he said
enough to pay off the $15,000 HVAC stuff, and then also on top of that have us about $4,000 or $5,000 leftover split to handle the divorce and everything. That was the ultimate goal, I guess.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, well, just let me know what I can do to help, brother. And if I can't help, that's okay too. I'll shoot all these numbers to Johnny and see what he says about it, and then I can get back to you on that. And I mean, do you have any other questions for me, kind of in the meantime?
I don't think so. And I think, you know, if you want, go ahead and send the numbers to your buddy.
Cool. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Get that done. Let me know exactly the fine print of it, and then we can maybe go from there. But as it sits right now, you know, you've been upfront with me. I think I'll be upfront with you that I'm not really sure if this is going to be exactly what I want because,
Yeah.
you know, so not only is there a risk, well, I wouldn't even say a risk of getting the house back because once spring hits, it's going to go back. You know, the market's going to start to pump again, and there'll probably be somebody that'll offer me the 365. I just got to deal with the bitch long enough to get there.
Right.
But if I lock in with you right now, and even if I get her to agree to all this, because we both have to agree,
Right.
and then something does happen, now that just brings me having to deal with her again financially. And even if I keep myself in a good spot to where I can handle my half, even if she can't handle hers,
Right.
then we gotta start fighting about it again. And
No fun, dude. I hear you.
yeah, I'm looking to just clear it off, and I definitely wanted to explore this option and see what it was like, but
Yeah.
I don't want to waste your time by being like, yeah, maybe.
I hear you, brother. Well, just, I mean, I'm happy to send some numbers over, and then if you want to kind of keep it in your back pocket and be like, hey, you know, down the line, if it hasn't sold in another month or whatever, then maybe we explore it again. So, not an issue, dude, but, you know, I appreciate you just being transparent and, you know, let me know if there's anything else I can do to help, even if it's just being a free resource, you know, as a landlord to, you know, show you the ropes of renting the property out or whatever I need to do. So, happy to help. I'm sorry you're going through everything you're going through.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But
Yeah,
if things don't work out, and 6 months away from now, we're just not getting there,
Yeah.
and we can do similar numbers to what we've got now. Of course, we'll make some payments, which will lower the principal and probably get me more closer to what I want to be able to get out of it.
Yeah.
Then things can change with another couple $1,000 paid on the house.
Yeah.
So there's
For sure, brother.
a couple. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, man. And the only reason why I said all that stuff is like, there's so many investors like in this game that I know that wouldn't have told you any of that, and they would have been like, oh yeah, we'll you don't understand like what are your risks, right? Like it's not very likely that that's going to happen. Like I've never had it happen, but like you need to know what could happen. And so I'm telling you that up front, like as if you have any other people calling you and they're offering you 10, 15 grand or whatever, it's like, just be careful. You know what I mean? Understand your risk and also like trust the person that you're working with. You know, like
For sure.
trust that they're actually going to take care of you and actually like give a shit about you. So
Yeah, because you know, it goes with maybe not you, but maybe somebody. But it's like I said, if they can't get what they want out of it, then they can just miss a payment to the gaming contract completely. And even if they lose 20 grand, it would amount to the 20 grand they lose in 1 year and the 20 grand they lose in the next by keeping the contract that we signed.
right. I will say like the one thing with that too is that technically there's two ways that they could go about this. Like if someone missed payments, just kind of nerding out here, like technical wise, two ways. So you could handle it where you would tell them, hey, you haven't made your payments, Evan or whoever, right? We're gonna foreclose on you, right? And you would legally have the right to do that. And so the money and the harm that would do to my life would be a lot worse than just losing 20 by having a foreclosure under my belt. So I think that's something to think about. But the second option is like you can sign something called a deed in lieu of foreclosure, which at that point just means like, hey, like, we can deed the property back to you, no harm, no foul, besides you just having to deal with it now. So just know that up front too when you're talking to anybody else about it. But those are kind of some different things. Foreclosure's not fun, dude. So I deal with a ton of people that go through it, and it's just like it ruins your life, man. So I'm not trying to set myself up to be foreclosed on.
But wouldn't and I don't really know how a lot of this works, but would the foreclosure just be straight on me because you don't have your name on anything other than the agreement to make payments? So if it was missed and then I also chose not to pay it because the loan is never modified, it's just staying in my name, the foreclosure would be 100% on me.
So with the foreclosure, that's a good question. So with the foreclosure, the title, whenever you do a subject to transaction like this, the deed goes into the buyer's name. So like I would have the deed, like I own the property, right? You have a lien against the property, just like the bank has a lien against you when you own the property, right? So technically you would still be able to foreclose on me because like I actually do have title. So technically that's how that would work. But you're right. At the end of the day, like, if something happened where, you foreclose on me and then like you have this whole issue, then it's like, yeah, dude, like for sure, like you can have to struggle with the same thing, and you technically at the end of the day are still responsible for those payments for sure. So
you would own the house, I would own the loan, kind of basically. I would be a bank, like a middle bank.
Yes, that's exactly how it works. And like there's times that, like for example, there's properties that I'll buy like this, or I'll buy them sometimes like on, someone will seller finance me where they'll be my bank essentially. And then I can turn around and sell that house to someone else on owner finance as well. So like I've done that before where I've been like the middleman in that scenario too. So like, at the same time, it's like, I can still foreclose on them if they don't make payments, right? I get the property back and then I can do what I want with it. So you're kind of back to square one. So, and the person just lost a lot of money, And I've had, luckily I haven't had to have that happen yet. But there are a lot of, I try to vet my end buyers pretty well, just because the last thing I want to do is like have an end buyer come in with $20,000 of their hard-earned money, and then them not afford the payments, and I have to foreclose on them. Now they have a foreclosure on their belt, and they lost $20,000 just because I didn't take care of them. Right? I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I did that kind of stuff. So that's just me. But dude, I appreciate you, man. Sorry you're going through it, brother. If there's anything I can do to help, feel free to reach out to me. But I'll try to shoot you a text tonight or tomorrow with some final numbers, and let me know what I can do for you, man.
Yeah, I'll check them out. And it's at the end of the day, I was trying to get, like I said, the divorce numbers with the bills and the house and all that stuff to be attractive enough for us to both just go our separate ways. And
yeah,
I think that this just is pretty on the line of being the option. But yeah, I'll take a look at the numbers and stuff you brought,
cool, dude.
and then I'll just give you a definite answer when I see that.
Yeah, sounds good, dude. Have a good night, brother. Nice talking to you.
Thanks, you too.
See you, man.
Bye.
My goodness, bro.
Gentle, but I still take my time. Man, I guess I'm just old-fashioned. Wearing retro shit, that's old-fashioned. Niggas see what I'm saying? No closed caption, I paint pics. See the shit, good sex, need a hit. Keep a bra on the floor, year round, like season 10.